Okay folks, today we're going to find out if a rookie, first time ever mechanic can do a radiator swap on a 1987 Ford Mustang 5.0 stick shift. And I'm literally a rookie at this. I mean, this is my toolbox right here. You're looking at it. I got a bag of wrenches hand-me-down from my dad. I got a on-the-road car kit that I bought myself two decades ago. And over here, I got my board with some tools on it. You're looking at, that's literally my workshop. This is that board of tools. Oh, by the way, go Cowboys. That board of tools and these things here. Anyway, I've got aftermarket shocks and springs and struts on this thing, so it's lowered an inch. So my front underfairing wouldn't clear the ramp, so I had to put some 2x12s under there to make it onto the ramp. And then just to be safe, I jammed some 2x12s under the rear wheels so it wouldn't roll back, but it shouldn't roll back anyway. I've got everything kind of cracked open, got the battery out, and got everything out of the boxes. That radiator is really light. You can pick it up with one hand. But anyway, like all the other videos show, you just gotta open up 4 bolts here, 2 on the radiator, 2 on the fan. Then you gotta loosen the fan up. Oh, let me pause this for a second and get the right wrench for the fan on the clutch. Okay, so what you're looking at is you've got 2 bolts on the radiator brackets here and there, and then you got 2 nuts on the bolts on the shroud fan connecting to the radiator. You got here and here. These are 10 millimeter. These are 11 millimeter. And then to get the fan off, down there, the rusted looking plate on the blue pulley, that's where you disconnect the fan from the crank pulley, or the water pump pulley, I'm sorry. And that's also these are 11 millimeters on the brackets, 10 millimeters on the fan, and also 11 millimeters on the shroud, and 11 millimeters again on the fan to the pulley. Alright, I've got high speed under pulleys on here too. Those are the blue pulleys. And like I said, I've got the cars lowered 1.5 inches with the shocks and struts that I did a couple decades ago. And I'm gonna crawl under and see if I can crack the drain plug. And I'm gonna pause this again. Alright, the drain plug is simple. It's just a little butterfly nut. You can see it down there on the bottom passenger side of the radiator where the fluid's coming out. And you want to crack the radiator cap off to get air flowing in so it'll come out. You want to open this up. You want to disconnect the overflow hose. I've already pre-worked all this stuff last night, so it's not quite as easy as I'm making it look so far. While that's draining, you can start cracking hose clamps off. You can break these bolts loose, which I've already done. Then already broken all the bolts loose. Now I want to get under there and open take the down there, take the bottom radiator hose off, the outflow to the water pump, and let that drain over here too. So now, getting onto the job, all you gotta do really is just like I said, you gotta loosen these up. I already cracked them. You know, these 2 radiator brackets. I already cracked them. No, they're just hand loose now. Get it out. Take it off. Keep the rubber because you're going to use that on the new radiator. I'm going to lay those on the ground. in the same direction so that I've got to maintain the left and right. I don't know if that matters, but I'm kind of might as well, if you can, keep things left and right. And the rubber's old, but not in bad shape. Switch out. Get the 11mm. Like I said, I already cracked them. They're already hand tight. Keep this on the driver's side. Get all our wrenches and stuff out of here. The radiator's a nice little tray, little shelf here to put stuff on, but now I'm getting ready to pull it. You want to get all your sockets and wrenches and everything out of there. I'm going to put you back on pause for a second. Okay, so I cracked loose the fan nuts, which are right down here. These 4 nuts on this blue pulley. Like I said, that's a aftermarket underdrive pulley. That's why it's blue. But everybody on the YouTube videos I watched said to crack those the water pump nuts with the serpentine belt still engaged, so you have some resistance there when you crack them free. But now that I've cracked them free, I'm gonna go ahead and slip the serpentine blade. Why am I saying blade? That's fan blade. Serpentine belt, and then get the rest of the fan off. Thanks again to O'Reilly's. Free loaner tools. Leave your credit card as a deposit. Take it back within 48 hours, and your card doesn't get charged. You got a free tool. You just put this down on the water pump, or I'm sorry, on the tensioner pulley. Right here. You just pull it up. Slip the belt off. And let the tensioner back in place, and there, that's it. That's all you gotta do. Simple as pie. Okay, I've got the brackets off. I've got the fan shroud nuts off. I got the overflow hose off. I slipped the serpentine belt. I've got the fan nuts off. And now, just according to the videos, I should be able to just pull everything out together. I'm short, plus the car's on ramps. No, not everything together, just the fan and shroud first. Now, we pull the radiator out. Just like butter. Alright, so as you can see, it's pretty dirty down in there. The bottom rubber looks pretty good. Well, oh, the one side stayed on. So I'm gonna reuse that. And the other one right here, I'll just leave it where it's at. Pretty dirty. What the heck? Huh. Yeah, original. This was the original. 1987. Dirty as hell. Fucking rust, holes. I should have changed this a long time ago, but I didn't know I could do it myself, and I didn't want to pay $500,000 in labor, so I started watching YouTube videos. Alright, I gotta take these clips off, the bottom clips and the top clips, because I reuse them. Now I see right away that this radiator didn't have the automatic transmission cooler holes, because it's a manual, but I didn't know that the stock radiators back then didn't have them. Okay, I got the hoses off. Upper hose goes here, lower hose goes there. This comes with a spacer, but you don't need the spacer on the Foxbody. Now, don't get the impression that I know what I'm doing. Everything I'm telling you I learned by watching other videos, like the Brew 2L, the KASL Custom, the LMR, House of Dula, Tecmotion. Just watch videos on YouTube, and the only reason I'm making one, even though all those are out there, is because I wanted somebody to see that a brand new rookie that has never done anything before can do it too. Hopefully. We'll see at the end. Okay, there's a new fan blade on an old clutch, 13mm by the way. Well, just a couple minutes after I said hope the rain doesn't come, the rain came. So anyway, I've got the radiator out, I've got the hoses off, I've got the fan out, I've got the new fan installed on the old clutch. There's the shroud that just fell over. Those are 13mm nuts. The nuts that hold it on to the water pump pulley are 11, maybe 13 or 11mm. The shroud's in good shape, so I'll just keep that. Overflow bottle's in pretty good shape, so I'll just keep that. The hose ain't in bad shape, it's decent too, so I'll just keep that. Right now, like I said, I've got everything out. I've got the serpentine belt back on, and I had the battery in and disconnected because when it rained, I had everything open and off out there in the driveway, and so I just put on a jacket and got an umbrella and slipped the serpentine belt back on, reconnected the battery, and started the car and drove it off the ramps and moved the ramps and drove it in here. It took me about 30 seconds of engine run time, so I figured that wouldn't be too bad. It runs without coolant. I mean, well, the coolant doesn't get hot anyway for a couple minutes, so the engine basically runs cold first few minutes anyway. So, alright, now I got to take these clips off, those two clips there, And those two clips there. And put them on the new SVE radiator. Okay, that wasn't too bad. You had the 4 clips here, bottoms and tops. These bottom clips come in through these slots from the radiator's upside down from the top and slide in to the radiator. So you got to knock them out towards the center of the radiator. These top clips, they're simple. They just slide on from the outside, so you just knock them off from towards the outside. So basically, all the same direction on both of them. You're knocking it towards the top of the radiator, and on these bottom clips that come in from the top, you're knocking it out also towards the top of the radiator. Anyway, these are the SVE silicone hoses. They come. You can get the kit to come with it. This is a $15 hose clamp kit, and the hoses were like $100 or something, and the radiator was $200. But if you buy it all as a kit together, it comes. You get the radiator, you get the hoses and the clamps for a total of $320 after tax. So I went ahead and got everything together, and then I got the fan from Rock Auto. So these these hose clamps come in 2 different sizes. You get 3 of the small ones to go on the upper hose, and you get 1 big one to go on the end of the lower hose that goes on the water pump, and then a small one goes on the other end of the lower hose. So I'm going to do as much as I can tonight. Okay, so I got the hoses on the upper sides. There's black hose clamps, look pretty nice. And then I got the lower one connected to the water pump inlet right down there. And it looks like it's gonna fit pretty good. When I first opened the drain cock, I had the car elevated on ramps, and so when it was draining out of the cock, it was hitting the radiator support bar, and because it's at an angle, you know, it wasn't dropping clear of the support bar down there, and then the coolant was running all along the support bar and coming out everywhere like a waterfall. So I had to stop, shut the cock, set my drain pans up all along the whole width of the car. Okay, welcome back to day 2. Wonderful South Carolina weather. Yesterday was 75 degrees. Today is 50. But that's good for working. So when I left you in the last video, or last edit cut, I was worried about if I put these clips on wrong, the bottom clips. Well, I didn't necessarily put them on wrong, but I did put them in the wrong slot holes. I spent about 45 minutes last night trying to get these suckers into those tiny slot holes. And it took me literally, not figuratively, literally 30 seconds, 15 seconds each to put them on in the bigger, correct slot holes. So thank you, LMR, Late Model Restoration, for your video on the radiator swap. If I would have paid attention, I wouldn't have wasted 45 minutes last night. Transmission oil cooler holes. And if, again, paying attention, there's a difference between the word oil and the word coolant. I was worried because I've never done this before. Shout out number 1,275,000. That I had to plug those holes. That it was mandatory to plug those holes. Transmission oil lines are separate, completely separate and enclosed lines that run through the radiator. There's no crossover. They don't mix with the antifreeze. They just, two different systems, two different complete systems, one oil, one antifreeze, run through the radiator coils. So that's completely separate, has nothing to do with the coolant. It will not cross over, it will not leak if the holes are open. All of this is obvious to mechanics that are watching this video. But for rookies like me and the people this video are for, that's what it's all about. Don't worry about the coolant holes. That's for oil and oil lines running through the radio. You don't have to plug them. Alright, well, I've got the clips on. I've got the car back outside. I'm ready to put everything back together. Oh, if you may have noticed yesterday when I pulled the radiator out, that this rubber mount stuck to the bottom of the original radiator while that one stayed in the car. And, well, I figured out the reason why. Because these two rubber mounts are exactly the same. They're not left, and right flipped. Which means that knob, this little U shape, is supposed to go on the fin right there, like so. However, this knob, the holes are on the opposite side. So, in order to make it fit flush and nice, you have to turn it around backwards so that the knob goes in the hole. But it's not on exactly correctly, but it'll work. It'll stay in there. But there's just no fin for this U on the rubber to hook onto on the back side. Well, there is, but it's not it's designed correctly. So the two rubber mounts are exactly the same. They're not left and right. So one of them's going to fit perfectly. The other one's going to fit a little off. So okay, slides right in when you know exactly where to line it up on those rubber mounts. If you look on top, it should line up with the bracket cover holes. But if you're looking at the rubber mounts, just follow the weld line down and put them right in the center. The alignment is just a millimeter or so off. On the passenger side, I had to pull it back pretty tough, and this one is needs to come over just a millimeter, just enough. You can get in there without really moving the radiator just by pulling on the bracket and lining the holes up. Now, I don't know how much it matters if these little nipples are under or over this little lip here, but when I had them over, it was kind of obstructing the bracket from going all the way down. I mean, it's only rubber and it was compressing, but I just decided to tuck the nipples under this little lip so that I could easily get the bracket all the way down and solidly in place. It worked out pretty well. Connect that upper hose. I got my hose clamp here. Just like butter. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that couple minutes. Alright, I got it up on the ramps, which again I borrowed from my neighbor, actually right next door there. And I got under there and connected the lower hose yesterday, last night, whatever. I already connected it at the water pump, and I'd connected it up here at the top of the thermostat already, and these slipped right on. Take it off the ramps, put it on the ground, and finish the rest of the shroud and the fan from up top. Oh, like I said, I put a couple bolts back in the water pump pulley and put the serpentine belt back on so that I could do this 30 seconds of taking it off the ramp and on the ramp last night when it was raining, and just now when there's no coolant in it. So anyway, alright, I am gonna have to slip the serpentine belt off because the underdrive pulley on my water pump is the only way it's bolted on is through the fan bolts, and it's a little bit cockeyed, so I'm gonna slip the belt, bolt the fan back on. That should straighten up the pulley, and then put the belt back on. And now I got to bolt the fan back onto the water pump pulley, and so far so good. You know, this is a little darker out. I took a break and got something to eat, but things are going along well now. I should get this fan on, and then I'll be able to fill it and burp it. Alright, when you're putting these bolts back in, you gotta go through 3 holes. You gotta go through the fan plate, the pulley hole, and the water pump plate. Now luckily, the water pump plate, the holes go all the way through the back, all the way through. So you can put your finger on the back and find the hole, line it up at 12 o'clock, and then line up the fan plate and the pulley. So that's what I did. I tried to line that up at 12 o'clock, and then I tried to line these 2 up at 12 o'clock, and then I got lucky and I got the bolt in hand tight, and so now the other 3 should go in. And I'm going to go ahead and continue doing that. Make sure everything's lined up. Okay. Okay. Okay, I could put it on the water pump pulley a little bit better than that. I'm going to slide it a little bit. Alright, it's on and good. I'm going to run this back to O'Reilly. Got a free tool for 2 days.